Welcome to this new Gran Turismo 7 video. For several months, I've been regularly making videos testing the game. Engine swaps involve taking the engine from one car and installing it into another vehicle. Generally, it allows you to gain a lot of power and end up with cars that have completely cheated power ratios. And it's true that for several weeks, I've seen a lot of comments from people recommending me to test the swap on the Porsche Cayman GT4. It's one of the swaps that apparently allows you to have one of the highest max speeds in the game. We'll test it out in today's video. Obviously, if there are other swaps that come to mind, let's say at the top of your head, when we talk about VMAX, or in terms of performance, really overpowered, don't hesitate to put them in the comments. It will be an opportunity to test them later, probably gradually in other videos. Don't hesitate, there you go. We are viewing an original Cayman GT4 which costs 160,000 credits at the new car dealership. It's a new car I recently got, so I've only driven it for 3 or 4 kilometers so far. And so we're going to test it today in video, with and without swap, just to see a little bit what it gives on the VMAX side. There you go, since it's really there apparently where it's especially cheated. I still wanted to do a little intro on a normal circuit, because the car indeed is a very good car. I wanted to check out the chassis, road holding and other aspects. And it's true that it seems to be ultra efficient. To brake well, to turn well, to make a good sound, to have a good look. In addition to that, it has a good look. So, honestly, we're not going to complain too much about the base, but indeed the purpose of the video after all. Here, it's going to be about making the VMAX, so we're still going to improve it. We're going to do a little VMAX test, precisely also from the original, just to see a little bit where we're starting from at the base level. Here we have a completely original flat 6-cylinder engine. We are at 385 horsepower for about 1,450 kilograms. And we're going to see what peak we can reach, obviously taking advantage of the suction of the AIs that will be in front of us. So it should, I suppose, be not far from 300 kilometers per hour. We'll see that in a few moments. I'm unsure if we'll need to continue to the end of the line. In my opinion, we're already on the final report. Yeah, I just checked, it's a 6-speed box, so original VMAX somewhere around 300 still. We'll see if we can catch them, and we'll see if we can keep them. As soon as we get out of the draft, we take 300 right here, and if I get out of the ASPI, yeah, so it's almost probably between 305 and 310 of original VMAX. Afterwards, of course, we are still here to test the improvements and the famous swap. I still suggest you take a look at the normal improvements before going to swap the car and apparently enjoy a huge VMAX. Well, we'll see what equipment she has available. I didn't install everything, but I'm showing you what she has. Simply for the good reason that generally in this game, when you install aerodynamic equipment, the goal is to improve the effect, let's say in addition to change the aesthetics of the car, it's to improve the aero. But generally, it will make the car have less VMAX, but it will be more grounded, which is ideal for circuit conditions, because we are rarely at 400 kilometers on a circuit. It's true that when the goal is to achieve maximum speed, it's not at all advantageous. So now, we're going to improve it. Without swapping, then of course, we'll have the opportunity to test it. We'll put our nitro and optimize the weight to power ratio as much as possible to allow for maximum adjustability. So basically, it's an engine that can indeed be significantly improved. However, it's an engine whose aspiration we can't modify. That is to say, it will... The power gain is still impressive, going from 380 horsepower to about 600 while remaining atmospheric. But it still remains, let's say, relatively modest compared to some cars that are basically atmospheric and on which we can install a turbo or a compressor. So here, I check one last time, but indeed we don't have a turbo here, no compressor here, and no turbo there either. 604 horsepower for 2,292 pounds. We do a quick VMAX test, and then, as you know, it's the swap. Well, listen, let's go. We'll see if we can catch maybe 350, 360 kilometers per hour. Now, knowing that we always have the artificial intelligence for aspiration, we obviously have the engine that makes 600 horsepower, the gearbox that I've extended, which is maybe a little bit long. By the way, now, we'll hear the sound, which is quite angry, the sound of the 6-cylinder in free exhaust, or rather in short exhaust. It's quite nice, so we shouldn't accelerate too much at the beginning because the goal is to stay behind the artificial intelligence. Up to that hill up there to really make a nice peak of VMAX. We'll see that. We should maybe catch Almost 400 actually, with the nitro plus the SPI small 400 with only 600 horses. It's quite impressive. Afterwards, we shouldn't count our chickens before they're hatched, right? So we're going to test this out properly. Let's allow them to get slightly ahead, otherwise we'll catch up too fast on the descent and won't fully utilize the SPI as intended. Hop, we're going to leave them like that. It shouldn't be bad. And go, we're hitting the nitro. And yes, indeed, it should eat up 400. We're going to pass our 6th. And indeed, so already, we haven't tested the swap yet, of course. Remember, this is just normal improvement, but reaching 260 miles H is significant progress. With 600 horses, it's still quite impressive, especially since here, we managed to keep them on a flat road. Let's say without Aspis, which is really violent. Well, now obviously we're going to test the famous swap, which is not as expensive as that. Actually, I haven't tested this car on video since the swap. I knew there was something that was cheated on it, but because I thought the swap we were going to have to install on the Cayman Gran Touring 4, it's the swap from the Bugatti Chiron. We can swap on some cars, except the Bugatti Chiron swap costs $1,750,000. And right now in the game, I don't have a lot of credit. I don't have enough time to play to farm, as needed to buy that big engine there. But actually, just before starting the shooting of the video, I discovered that it wasn't the W16, but it is indeed the engine. Maverick, it's an engine that still comes out. Just to clarify, we won't do anything foolish. I have a small question though. I have a little doubt. Damn, it's another version of the 5.8, because this 5.8 we tested it not long ago on another swap and there. The power was different. Wait, did I call them an improvement? I don't think so. No, we have everything though. Okay, so it's 1,400 horsepower. Ah, no, that's it. It's 1,400 horsepower for 1,080 kilos. And now, a goal in mind, at least 500 kilometers per hour. So what we're going to do is, we're going to let them pass in front of us, in order to have as many cars as possible behind which to use the slipstream when we're on the hill. So here, I may have messed up a bit, because you have to give them the right amount of slipstream, well, the right distance. Not too much, or we won't catch up to benefit from their slipstream. We can take advantage of it, but we still have to leave a little bit, otherwise we can't optimize. I may have messed up a bit, we'll see. No, we're catching up a bit. And we're only in 5th, we're at 450. Oh yes, I hadn't looked. Oh yes, okay, it's very, very, very violent. Okay, laughter. I wasn't watching the meter, I was focused on the stopwatch, which was moving rapidly. We're in 5th gear with 1 more to go. And we haven't hit the nitro. We're going uphill. So everything is fine. We're a little too far to enjoy the SPIE. I think we're gonna do another one, unless with the SPI. There, we managed to get through that, and I think my box is just too long for now. We'll see if we can catch up. Time, no, it's going to be still 480 on the flat without having the SPI too much for now. And there, we're only going to raise the SPI. But we've fallen too far behind, and the box, it's too long. But already, 490 kilometers per hour. Listen, it started. This should be the one this time. Normally, I have a good gearbox setting there, and especially, I know roughly when I need to accelerate to catch up with them on the slope. And so, optimizer, and the drafting, and the nitro, so that's it. I need to accelerate when the third one starting from the double woman, and normally it should not be too bad. The goal is at least 317 miles, which I think will be very easy for that car to achieve. So, I don't really know why, but I think it's really the aero of the Porsche that is very, very good. This allows for reaching extreme speeds with relative ease. Because apart from that, the power is not so incredible. 1,400 horsepower is a lot, but with so many cars in this game making that much power, it's not as impressive in the end. Not strong of one either, but you see what I mean? We're starting to have a lot precisely thanks to the swap. So, we're not too bad here, with about a second delay on the slope. Normally we should be able to start enjoying the SPI, and it should not be too bad. We are already at 500. Oh yes, it's not bad at all, so I'm not going to look at the meter. We'll see. You'll tell me in the comments how much speed I've gained. 512. 513. We're going to have a hard time doing more than that. We're just going to have a hard time. Because now we have no more nitro. Oh, we still have nitro. What am I talking about? Well, no, we don't have any more. We don't have any more. We're doing 513 kilometers per hour, which is quite impressive. This car is one of the most interesting VMAX swaps in the game. What's more, It's very controllable.
You see what I mean?
It's a car with excellent aero, even with minimal aero settings. That is to really optimize the VMAX. The car is very, very cool. So indeed, the swap is quite cheated, but even without that, it's a very, very, very good car, in fact. So I think at the moment, I'm going to try to find some of the best cars. We're currently in a VMAX period, so in the coming weeks, we'll be testing many cars with optimized parameters. I hope you will like it. I hope the video will have interested you. It's a bit of experimental Gran Turismo. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing for future content. See you soon. Follow me on Twitch for upcoming live streams, as I'm currently streaming regularly. So don't hesitate to use your Prime. Also use the instant gaming link of the channel, which allows you, I remind you, to buy your games cheaper while giving a little boost to the channel. Thanks to those who will take a quick look. See you later. Ciao.